Hey, how you doing? This is Mario Lloyd. I'm real estate guru PK. Um, I'm gonna give you a little bit of my background real quick. Um, I worked from like 17 to 20, 28, 20, 27, and then I stopped working and I got into real estate. Um,
How old are you?
I'm 32 right now.
All right.
I'm 32. I've been in real estate for like 3 years now. I got a couple of rentals and I flipped a couple of houses as well. Um, uh, well, okay, let me introduce you guys to. Oh, I'm married. I'm married as well. That's important. Okay, now let me
Well,
introduce you.
I am too.
yeah. Well, I'm not married, by the way, if there's any single ladies out there. But yeah, I'm Ron. I've been knowing Mario for a while, and I've watched him grow as far as his real estate empire. As far as about me, I was between 2003 2005. I was a day trader for forex, trading currencies and stuff. I went from forex trader to trading precious metals, basically a precious metal stacker. Started doing that in 2005. Did well in that, and I saw an opportunity in 2013. Kind of missed out Bitcoin when it was $1, but I saw an opportunity in 2013 to get into Bitcoin. I got into that pretty heavily. I did extremely well. Now I'm looking to get into something deeper, like to get passive income, because I made my stacks in cryptocurrencies. Now I'm trying to move over to something that's going to actually pay me income.
Cool.
And that's pretty much my story, and that's where I'm at. So I'm here to learn. I'm a student. I'm always learning. And hey, whatever these guys can show me and tell me, hey, I'm like a sponge, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right, man. Josh,
Yeah.
yo, you up?
I'm here.
Bro.
So I've known Mario for a long time. I'd say,
I was in middle school.
yeah,
He's in-
yeah, a long time. He was like the little kid. We all hung around his sister. So Mario's like the little brother that came around, was kind of annoying. But bumped into Mario. I lost track of Mario. I ain't seen him in a long time. And then I bumped into him again, and he was getting into real estate. And I've always been just a novice, a student of real estate. And so anyway, that's how I got into Mario and helping him out with what he's doing. And I've seen him grow tremendously in the past few years, which is impressive to me. I am a business owner. I have been for about 4 years now. And entrepreneurship is something that I think runs in my blood. I've never, ever had a 9 to 5. And I don't have any formal college education, and I think I just learned through osmosis, like watching everybody make moves,
Boy, got
reading.
street smarts.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah, you know, and I'm nowhere near a rich man yet, but the idea is we came from a couple blocks away from where we're at here in the hood, and I'm just looking to improve my family situation day by day by day.
I hear you. That's good.
Okay.
Let's get into financial disclosures. We are not giving financial advice. This is just for educational and entertainment purposes. By the way. So Mario and Josh.
Yep.
How's y'all weekend? Did you enjoy that Rockets game? That Rockets Warriors game?
Man,
I don't know. I
you
hate to
went
go there, but
Man, you went there.
I think it's gonna go to 7, 6 or 7 games. My gut tells me the Rockets aren't gonna win as much as I want them to win. So it just unless they can go back and forth with them, because that's all it is right now.
Yeah.
They had a bad game, we had a great game. We had a bad game, they had a great game.
Yeah.
So it's gonna boil down to Game 7 and who comes out, who shows out or not. And we kind of know Harden's typical response when it comes to
Stressful situations.
Yep.
Oh man.
That's my take.
I think if they could get Curry down to under 20, like they did the first 2 games, I think they could win. They can't do nothing for Durant. Durant is
As much as I hate him.
Uncoverable.
Durant's gonna get whatever he wants
Yeah.
whenever he wants.
I got a question to ask everybody because I have my opinion about Durant, and I'm gonna keep it to myself. But why does Durant not get the same accolades as LeBron's, Kobe's? I mean, because right now in the conversation, it's Michael Jordan, Kobe, and then LeBron kind of, right? I mean, that's what nobody wants to just come out and say that. But so I think Kevin Durant is as good as a player as all those guys. But why isn't he in the conversation?
He did what he did the unforgivable, basically, I think.
But so did LeBron.
But
And then he came back and double dipped. He's still in the combo though.
the Warriors already were an established team already, and they just did they just lose or they just won when he went over there?
They had just won. They were champs.
Yeah, they were champs.
Yeah, and I'm not the biggest sports guy. I don't know
Yeah.
all these stats and stuff, but I mean, I'm a fan and what I call a consumer of sports. I go to sports games and watch sports. But why is he not in the conversation? And because he did what LeBron did. He switched teams, right?
Yeah.
And he's that good of a player. Is it because he just got that good? No. Why?
I don't know. I don't.
What's
think,
y'all opinion?
I don't think he's as dominant as LeBron James, and I don't think anybody right now is as dominant as LeBron James. As a matter of fact, because of his frame, LeBron's frame, and his he always. I mean, it's kind of like Shaq. When Shaq was in the league, you can foul the hell out of him, and referees won't call it because, man, you big as hell, man. You should be able to take that type of abuse, right?
Yep.
Same thing with LeBron. Like, man, you built like a tank. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I think that they just there's a different. I don't know. He's just like the perfect body for it.
think if he would have won one at OKC, I think he would be in the conversation. But because he didn't win it over there, he's not in the conversation.
Yeah.
Like LeBron they went to the final. They got swept though by Miami, right? When they went to the finals in 2011, they got swept, right?
Who got swept?
I can't think that far back, man.
OKC.
Yeah, I think.
They got swept,
it wasn't
right?
pretty. I know that.
I know Harden didn't do nothing. Harden came off the bench and he was like dead. And Westbrook still did his thing, but I don't think LeBron. I'm not LeBron. I don't think Durant really showed up like how he's supposed to. I think they got swept. Yeah, I think Shane Battier was pushing him out the paint.
Shane's always been really, really good on defense. So, but right now, I don't think there's nobody that can really hold Durant except for LeBron.
Yeah.
I think LeBron is literally the only person that can hold him 1-on-1.
And me. I got him.
That's where I know Mario from basically the courts. So we're gonna that's
Can you ball?
Can I ball?
Yeah.
I'm pretty decent, man.
Yeah.
I'm pretty decent, man. I won't have to pull out my videos.
On YouTube.
I'm pretty decent.
On YouTube? You got a video?
I got a couple of YouTubes. RonBFollowMe.com. So
hey, there you go.
Yeah.
Ron B.
Yeah. Let's get back into real estate. As far as I know, this is your first podcast.
Yeah.
How do you want it? I mean, what do you want people to know? I mean, usually I always tell people in life. Me personally, I'm like, my goal in life is to spread knowledge to other people.
Mm-hmm.
Always have a purpose in life. What do you think having something like this, a podcast? I mean, what's your purpose, man?
My whole point is just to encourage people to step out the box of 9 to 5, and just if they could like dibble and dabble into entrepreneurship if they can, even if it's part-time, so they could eventually do it full-time. That's just my whole goal. Is just to get the word out, like especially as minorities.
Yeah.
And try to get everybody to just
think outside the box, right?
Yeah, basically.
And Josh, you're an entrepreneur.
Yep.
Like for me, I do have a business too, but for me, it took me a while to even get there. Even though I felt like I knew everything to do, my big problem was actually taking the leap. Like, what do you think is limiting most people out there? Most people have this mindset of like earned income is the way to go. Like, how come? What separates you? Like, what separates your mindset? You know what I'm saying? How'd you get there? Is it because your family, somebody in your family was a?
No, I think that in general, there's only two types of people. There's people that that I call them bean counters, but they want to know that there's a check coming, XYZ every week or every 2 weeks or however you get paid. I think my very first job that I had, I worked for a guy that was a painter, and I remember, in my mind, I was like, I'm like 16, 15, 16. I've always had a job. I think my first job was 13, 14, but my first job was somebody hired me. I was helping them paint, and I remember going to the job, and the paint, he showed me the bill for the job, and it was a house memorial, and I didn't really know. I was young. I didn't know the difference between memorial and this side of town. I just know there's big houses, and so I remember seeing the paint bill was like $35,000. And that just floored me. Like, in my own mind, I was like, who in the world can afford to pay somebody $35,000 to paint a house? And then instantly I started thinking about, well, if they can afford that, okay, well, they have this is way back in the day, so a $60,000, $70,000 car was like a $100,000 car. It's like, so they got, this car in the driveway. And in my mind, I was like, man, well, how much money do they have to bring in to be able to afford that? And so, I started doing my little calculations in my little teenage head, and I was like, dude, they got to be rolling in 20, 30 grand a month or more. This is an expensive house, an expensive job. Not only are they painting, they're doing landscape, they're doing this. And I was like, man, this is like, you're rich, and just that thought of how now, being in business now and being many, many years later, I can understand how people get there. I can understand what it takes to get there. So just that idea intrigued me from a kid. And then real estate has intrigued me. I remember being like 19, 20 years old and looking at an apartment complex trying to figure out if I could buy it. Because I was like, hey, man, I need to buy this and put all these renters in there. And to be honest, that same apartment complex I've seen switch hands when I was a kid. It was around the corner from my house. I've seen it been flipped and remodeled and flipped and remodeled 4 or 5 times.
Wow. That's wow.
So I say, when it comes to entrepreneurship, like Mario and guys like that, if you have a job, my advice is don't quit your job. Do something that's going to build your income. Because before I started my own business as myself, running a company, it's kind of this leap of faith you have to take, because and it depends on your personal situation and circumstances. If you have a family and kids and all this stuff, your bills, what I call your overhead, is up here, and that means as a man providing for your family, you have to make XYZ a month. And if you take that leap of faith, you better be bringing in that much money a month, otherwise they're not going to eat. So my advice is, unless you're young, 21 to 25, and you just willy-nilly, or like maybe your circumstances where you're not married, I don't even have kids or not, do you? No. So he can afford to take risk. Exactly. At just by looking at how you look, at your age, you could go dead broke, and you still can are young enough to recover. So if you have a job and you want to take that leap into real estate, my advice is to, and this is something I've read in books before, is to work, and use all your money to build up this monster of a mountain until one day you say, hey, me going to work is losing money. I'm missing out on money by going to work. And that's when you know it's time to walk away.
I have to say this. Josh must be my brother from another mother. He's the same. It's almost this exact same thinking that I have. Like, that's exactly what I did when I was talking about making a bunch of money. Now you got to figure out, you got to let that money make money for you now.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Yep. So, absolutely, man. And you said you have no educational background. That's pretty remarkable, man.
You want to know the
You didn't go to college at all? No college?
I
have a GED. I got a general education diploma. Wow. So So without patting my own back, I feel like I'm extremely intelligent. And when I was in middle school, I was in the advanced classes.
Yeah.
And then when I went to high school, I just kind of dropped off. My mom and dad didn't really.
You went to Madison, right?
No, I went to Lanier Middle School.
Okay. No, what
And
high school?
I didn't go to high school.
Oh wow.
So when I went to high school, looking back on it, you know how we would think education is important, right? We're like, man, you gotta. If I have a little boy, so I'll be like, man, you gotta do this in high school. You gotta, when you graduate, you need to have an associate's degree by the time you graduate.
Yeah.
And so, my mom and dad, that was probably the furthest thought from their mind was about my schooling.
Yeah.
So, when I went to high school, regular public high school, I had already learned the stuff that they were learning in 10th grade because I was in advanced classes in 8th grade. So it was like, I got this. So when I looked at, my mom and dad didn't put me in public school, they put me in homeschool. And so when I looked through the material, I was like, I know this, just test out of it, just test out of everything.
Yeah.
And then I started getting to where I was just wandering around doing stuff haphazardly because I have no school to go to.
Yeah.
So I had a car at 16 and driving around town, messing with my friends. If you wasn't in school, I was coming to your house and, doing something with you, playing ball, playing video games. But all the meanwhile, I still was, learning through. I have you can't satisfy my quest for information.
Yeah.
So like, if I wanted to know something, I'm gonna go find out what it is.
Okay.
So I didn't go to school.
Isn't it crazy? Like, this is what I love, that we're actually in the internet age. It's the information age. Anything you want to know, if you have the desire, you can go out there and get it. It seems like it.
That wasn't YouTube days either. So he was like really like.
Yeah.
And then the internet wasn't really popping like that either. So
let me tell you one thing I wish I would have known when I was a kid is when I say a kid, a young man.
Yeah.
One thing I wish I would have found out about was hard money. Because in my mind, as 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, I was like, I have to have $100,000 cash to buy this house.
Buy this house.
Right.
How's he gonna find that?
All right. Just let the viewers know, what is hard money.
Hard money is when you take a stack of money and you spray it with Stay Flow.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Some people out there are going to do that. You know that, right?
Stay Flow.
Hey, Mario, explain hard money.
Okay. Hard money is, you could call, there's a lot of lenders in Houston, Texas. There's Zeus. There's Jed.
Hey, only name the ones that you like,
bro.
You don't promote them.
Free
They're not paid.
I don't use any of them anymore.
We're not getting paid. Don't give it out, bro.
Well, I don't use these people anymore. These are just suggestions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Just explain what hard money is.
Basically, if you get a house, say if you get a house under contract, or you get a realtor and they get a house under contract for you, and you don't have the means, like you don't have $80,000 or $60,000 for the house, you have to call a hard money lender. They're gonna buy the property for you, and then they're probably gonna give you like an additional like 10 to, based on the renovation, the ARV, they're gonna give you like between like 15 to 30,000. It just depends how much.
Depends on what the deal is.
Yeah. Like if there's like 100,000 or 80,000 equity in there, they'll probably give you like 30,000. And then there's a misperception. They are gonna run your credit, and that does matter. No, that does matter, because people say like if your credit's messed up, just get a hard money loan. They are gonna run your credit, and they are gonna tax you based on your credit, or they're gonna tell you no, because they're gonna be like, hey, you got your debt to income ratio is too high. We can't afford this. You're probably gonna run out of money before the house is halfway done.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there is definitely a difference between a conventional loan and then a hard money loan. And the hard money loan is based more on the value of the property and the after repair value, right?
Mm-hmm.
Versus a conventional loan, which is based on the property being all fixed up. It has to be all. The properties that most times the real estate people target are properties that need a lot of repair, and those are the ones that cannot be financed conventionally. But anyways,
I call it hard money is it's your bridge to getting the deal done if you don't have all the money to get into that house. So it's expensive, but otherwise, let's just be put it in perspective. If I have a house that I want to buy, rehab, and sell, who am I going to go to get $120,000 if I don't have it?
And your parents don't have it.
And your parents don't have it.
And your friends don't have it.
Yeah. And so it's basically somebody saying, okay, well, what I like about hard money is they're not going to give a blind loan out. So they actually analyze a deal for you. They do. And they say, okay, well, based on what we see, this house isn't worth what you're going to put into it. Yeah. And if a hard money loan tells you no, then
it's probably not good, right? It's
walk away. Yeah. Because you either have either you're going to do the work yourself and not going to pay anybody, which that's a whole nother topic right there. Yes. But it's just they're basically saying there's not enough money in it. We don't see it being advantageous to give you our money for this deal. Now, if they jump all over, the hard money loan's like, yeah, we don't care about your credit. Yeah. They see money. Yeah, and they're like, hey, we want to give you the money for this house because we hope you fail and we hope we get to take it from you.
Exactly.
So it's almost like a safety net because if the deal isn't right, they're going to let you know.
What about, I'm hearing a lot more gurus talk about personal loans. Are y'all familiar with personal loans? Do y'all do personal loans?
I am.
And I'm talking about like, of course y'all know what I'm talking about as far as the personal loans. Are you doing personal loans or are you just doing hard money loans? Because I know that's another extra step you got to take with the personal loans and have those contracts already set up. And
just depends.
Yeah.
The credit score.
Some of the guys that are out there that loan money, they're easier to deal with than the conventional hard money loan institutions.
Yeah.
So if you find somebody and without there's only one person I ever met with or deal with, but Mario knows a few. But if you find somebody who you gel with and they analyze a deal and it makes sense to them, and it's cheaper than an institution because think about the institution has to keep the doors open. They got to keep the secretaries paid. They got to keep this paid. They got to keep that paid. So they have a higher overhead. They're naturally going to cost more. And in this business, in any business, the lower you keep your prices or cost, so not your prices, your cost, the better off you are. So.
Go ahead.
No,
well, a lot of people say, why would somebody give you a personal loan? And you look at the interest rates right now, people are getting 1-2% on their keeping their money in the bank, and you're offering them 10%, 12%
That's right.
on their money. So,
that's right.
I mean, why wouldn't you want to loan to somebody that's very experienced in real estate that can get your money back quick, right? In a short period of time. So
here's the other good thing about that is people are hesitant. Like let's say I go to my rich uncle, Billy, right? Yeah. Hey, Billy, I need $100,000 for this house, blah, 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 blah. You can't come to him with that. You got to come to him with, look, I have a deal. It's going to cost me this much money to get in it. It's going to net me this much money. Here's your return, right? Treat them like a business. I'm going to give you this many points up front. So I need $100,000. I'm going to give you 2 points, which I'm going to give you $2,000 up front, just no matter what. And then they're on the deed. It's backed by real estate.
That's the key.
Yeah.
That's the key that I think a lot of people don't understand is if you default, then they get to take the house and they can try to sell it themselves, right? Yeah. So, I mean, that's the motivation behind that. So I think that's
exactly. So I don't know anybody with a good amount of money who is not savvy and would say, well, this is dumb. I shouldn't do it. If you're paying a good return and you say, hey, you're going to be on title, so if I default on it, automatically that property is worth XYZ. So you're not taking a huge loss. Exactly. You're taking it's going to be some sort of a gamble, but anything's a gamble when it comes to making money. So go find somebody that has a bunch of money that's expendable or whatever you want to call it. I'm not great at words.
I mean, I think there's a certain personality that gets into stuff like this sometimes. It takes a certain level of confidence.
It does.
Talk about as far as fear. There's who Zig Ziglar is? He talks about fear.
Books,
false evidence appearing real.
Yeah, see, I forgot what it meant, but you're right.
False evidence appearing real. I think I think the biggest thing limiting people and investors, I told a lot of people about Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, when they were cheap, and a lot of
He told
people
me too.
it's like, I was like, man,
Man.
it's only $200 right now.
Oh
Dude,
my God! I
but
wish
they couldn't understand it. They could not understand it. But
So with Bitcoin, I don't know how well you did or what you or when you got into it, but
Yeah.
I remember this is not even that long ago.
Yeah.
This is within 18 months ago.
yeah,
We were having a convo. We were at my buddy Lloyd's house, and we were at his bar. Right?
Yeah.
It was me and this other cat who I knew from. He was really really good friends with a friend of mine, and so I met him in high school, like in
Yeah.
high school days, and so I had saw him at this guy's house. And I was like, man, I haven't seen this dude in 15 years. So we were, having some drinks talking about Bitcoin. And this guy's in tech. Like he's he's been a computer guru.
Yeah.
He went to high school to work on
yeah,
computers.
absolutely.
And he was telling us about Bitcoin. And we were listening. I was listening. I was like, this is pretty cool. But I couldn't grasp the concept. Like, what is a Bitcoin? Like,
Exactly.
nobody can
Yeah.
explain it to me
Exactly.
in that convo. And so when we were looking it up, I want to say Bitcoin was...
What year was it?
This was 2 years ago.
Okay,
$700
so
bucks.
It could have been less than that. It could have been like
1,200.
Okay. Oh, that.
12,
no, it probably-
1,400?
No, it's probably about $700. So yeah.
2 years ago?
It was about
Yeah.
$800.
Okay.
Sorry.
So I think
Yeah.
it was 700, and then
Yeah.
maybe 3 months later, I texted the guy. I was like, "Man, you remember we were talking about Bitcoin?" I was like, because he was like, "Man, we should buy it. We should buy it."
Yeah.
And I was like, $700 for something that I don't even know if it's real.
Mhm.
And then so I was that naysayer. I was
Yeah.
that this is garbage. It's
Yeah.
boo boo.
Yeah.
And then I looked it up again maybe 3 months later just by glance, and it was $1,400. And I was like, dang,
They
I would have doubled my money.
Yeah.
Just like in a small mind, like
Yeah.
I'd have doubled my 700 to 1,400.
Mhm.
And then when it started getting a little bit more mainstream, I started seeing more and more of it, like through different.
NBC and stuff.
Yeah.
See,
Well, before that,
yeah,
before
yeah.
it was like what I call all the way mainstream. Because
Yeah.
remember, what did Bitcoin spike at? 25, 24,
about 19,000, 20,000.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
yeah. Okay.
that was
so
like the end of last year.
this was
Yeah.
Christmas time. December is when it was real high.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
December 17.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I would say August, September, I would start looking into it again before it got real mainstream. And I was like, dude, it was
this
climbing.
might go to $1 million. This is what
Yeah.
everybody says,
It was
right?
climbing.
Yeah,
It was climbing. I was
yeah.
like, dude, if I had bought Bitcoin, and then I couldn't figure out how to buy it. I was like, how do I?
Yeah.
I was
Yeah,
googling how to buy a
absolutely.
Bitcoin, and there's this other guy I follow who's a custom car builder, and he posted something on Instagram. He was like, hey, go here to buy Bitcoin, and that's how I learned to buy Bitcoin was through somebody else's Instagram post.
Oh, so you got some cryptocurrency now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah. So
okay.
short story is another buddy of mine who's a friend of a friend. He's a really good friend. He was on Snapchat, and he snapped something about Bitcoin. So one day, this is around Christmas time.
Yeah.
We were investing into Tron, right? Is it Tron?
Yeah.
And so, come to find out, there's what I call pump and dumps. They
Yeah,
pump up the price.
absolutely.
It's not regulated,
Yeah.
so which is people they're afraid of it. I think it's cool. We think
Yeah.
it's an easy way to make money.
Mhm.
And so we had threw a bunch of money, not a bunch, but just threw some money at Tron. And he had told me, he's like, man, I bought Tron, it was like 0.000 or something.
Yeah.
And so literally that night we went to bed like at 3 a.m, Snapchat each other back and forth because that was the peak of Tron.
Mhm.
He snapped a screenshot of his account, and it was like $19,000, right? And then at the end of the night, it was $43,000
Yeah.
of Tron.
Wow.
And then in the morning, I woke up like at 7 a.m. I was checking my account to see what Tron was at. He snapshotted his account to me. It was at 119, and I was like,
100.
dude,
I actually, I
A
know.
$119
$119?
grand.
Yeah.
Yes.
A grand.
Yes.
Oh.
I'm telling you, I actually had some partners that I got into Tron under a cent.
Yeah.
I only put $500 in it,
Yeah.
but every time it went up a penny, I made $1,000. So it went up to 30 cents. My friend was up $700,000, and he
Oh
watched it
my
go
God.
from 30 cents back to 2 cents,
Yep.
and he cried the whole way down. He
So
was
that's
like,
that's what my buddy did.
Yeah.
He could have brought out though on top. He
and
could.
nobody knows what the top
Yeah.
is. you
Oh.
know?
Yeah. That's,
Everybody was calling for $1, $3.
Yeah.
I was like, I got $500. I'll let it ride. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I
that
made-
was me.
yeah.
I had about $500 in it.
Yeah.
I was like, hey,
Let it
I
ride.
could lose all 500. I'm not
Exactly.
tripping.
Exactly.
But so
Yeah.
like my little $500 was like $4,800.
Yeah.
And I was like, dang.
Yeah.
I was dumb. I fell into the dumb part. I should have let it go.
Exactly.
I should have just sold it. And I told my buddy, I was like, just sell it, bro. Like, no matter what.
So he was at
119 something.
$119,000.
And I want to say he had maybe 4 or 5, maybe $7,000 tops in it.
Yeah.
I said, bro, minimally take out your $7,000
Yeah.
at minimum. But I probably, well, I'm not gonna say that because I was in the same situation with smaller money. I didn't do it.
Yeah.
But looking back, I would have probably took out half of it and let the other half ride because
Exactly.
like
That's
he's
smart.
saying, you don't know the
Yeah.
top. You don't. It could have went to $3, and that 1 in 20 would have been $700,000. So. I'm just throwing numbers out there. They could be off, but I'm not a mathematician either. But
so he stayed up from 3 in the morning all the way until. So
Yeah.
he saw it visually spike up.
yeah.
Wow.
No, it was going crazy. I remember Tron. Everybody was happy. We were having cryptocurrency parties. People that had never been to it coming to our little cryptocurrency parties and stuff like that. And we were just, man, at that time, dude, it was crazy. Dude.
Yeah.
I mean,
what year was it?
This was last year.
This is early this year. Like,
Yeah.
end of December, January.
Yeah.
Everything was just crazy, dude. And everybody was like, like my boy quit his job. He wasn't even looking for another job. You know what I'm saying? So like now it's like, anyway.
Yeah, go back to work.
Yeah.
But
how much he made? How much he made?
Man, like I said, they watched it go up. They watched it go back down.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep,
So
yep.
I mean, they're for the most part they're still up because they bought it less than a penny. I bought mine less than a penny.
Mm-hmm.
It's at like 7 or 8 cents right now. So, but it's not 700,000. It might be 30 or 40,000. You know what I'm saying? So.
like I was, another friend of mine was like, hey, look in the Ripple. And so we looked in the Ripple, and Ripple was, I think, 5 cents at the time. And then we couldn't, this is when everybody had known about Bitcoin now. So it was like this mainstream thing. We couldn't even get an account. It was like days before they could, I guess, verify your information to give you an account with Binance to buy Ripple.
Ripple,
and,
yeah. You just
and
watched it
just
go
watching
up.
it go up. I'm
Damn,
like,
yeah.
it took us 48 hours, and I'm like, man, it was 5 cents, and now it's at 15 cents. And then now Ripple's, I think, somewhere holding around.
It's about 70.
Yeah, about 70
It's
cents.
69. I checked it earlier. I have a lot of Ripple. I got a lot of Ripple. I'm heavily invested in Ripple, by the way.
So that's
yeah.
that's the thing is like, I think about this is I half of me is like, man, put my money out, go somewhere else, do something else.
Yeah.
But the other half of me is thinking about, okay, 4 years ago, how much was Litecoin?
It was $3.
Yeah. Now
$3.
it's 300, 400, 700.
No, it's about 130.
Okay.
But it's been up there. It's
Yeah.
been up $400.
So if you bought it at $3 and you bought 1,000 shares, right? I call them shares, whatever.
Yeah.
You bought 1,000 of them, and now it's worth how much is it? It's one something.
It's like 130, 140 today.
There's a return like no other, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, but then if you hold off maybe another 2 or 3 years, what if it goes up to Bitcoins? 7,000, 9,000, 10,000. You're rolling.
Yeah.
I think the general direction, like what I'm seeing with cryptocurrency, like what everybody's waiting for is the big money to come in. We're looking for the hedge funds to come in. We're looking for more mainstream. Like right now, they're waiting since it's a new field. That's the other thing is whenever you see something like it's a new opportunity, basically like the internet in the 2000s, everything made money. And it had a .com next to it and made money in the 2000s.
Yep.
But that's the same thing with cryptocurrencies right now. I think that once the like I said, the hedge funds come in, which right now they're waiting on to be waiting on somebody to actually hold the cryptocurrency, a custodian.
Yeah.
So Coinbase is trying to be a custodian where they're going to hold all the cryptocurrencies, and then the hedge funds can buy it and hold it at Coinbase. So
You like Coinbase?
no.
No.
Not really. I mean, that's the easiest. Like they used to have something
It's
called.
easy.
So this is basically how I got into Bitcoin. One of the things that got me into Bitcoin early. When I knew it was going to be a home run, when I saw the banks getting into it, they were quietly. It wasn't a secret. They were quietly moving their assets in there. There was a company called Circle.
Yeah, I heard of that.
Circle. They used to. You could actually buy your Bitcoins from Circle. And they're actually Goldman Sachs, one of the largest banks in the world. If you do what Goldman Sachs does, you're going to make money. So I saw that they were moving into the Bitcoin space, and I was like, man, there's something going on, man.
What year was that?
I got into Bitcoin
2011?
2013. I knew about Bitcoin in 2011. I thought, just like you, there was a techie dude on there's a tech guy that was talking about it. He used to talk. I used to do precious metals. He went from talking to precious metals to talking about Bitcoin. I was like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
You're dumping all your metals for Bitcoin?
Yeah, I was like, dude, yeah. And I was like, man, this don't make any sense. I should have thrown $1,000. I would have had 1,000 Bitcoins if I would have thrown $1,000 at it. And at the time, I was spending at least $2,000 a month on precious metals. I was heavy into precious metals back in the day. So, yeah.
I don't think that we'll see something like this again in our generation. There's a lot of stuff that we've seen in our lifetime that our parents never saw.
Exactly.
Like opportunities to make money. So like Bitcoin's one. Like personally, all the money that I put aside for my son, I put it all in his account is all in cryptos. Because I mean, for one, it's to me, in my opinion, this is just me. This is me talking personally.
Go ahead.
His money is throwaway money. Like it's some, it could burn up in a fire and I won't miss it. So I'd rather take the risk. I mean, he's a kid. He's 3.
Exactly.
If he might be worth $1 million when he's 10.
Yeah.
So everything that's in his account is all crypto. I manage it myself and I go and it's all crypto. And my whole goal is just 10%. 10% of everything that I throw to him. So like it's pennies, right? But pennies turn into dollars turn into more dollars. So like, what I allot him so much money every day to every week, and I give it to him. So and I teach him the same way. Like, hey, this is your money. You put it up, and when he wants something, he's got to buy it. And he's 3, but that teaches him responsibility now.
Yeah.
So all the money that that he can't physically see in his little piggy bank, I take it and I put it into an account, and then that all goes invested into crypto. And so like, you never know. There might be something that I'm in that I bought for him, and 6-7 years from now, I might make him a bunch of money. So I'd rather take that risk than just sit there and let the bank give me 0.04% on it or something.
Like 0.003,
Exactly.
0.002.
I think it's like important, like what you're saying. You're taking a risk. I mean, even if it goes to 0, it's like it's important for people to find their own way in the world. So even if he didn't have that money, like, hey, I'm giving you knowledge. I mean, like your knowledge about real estate, just having an open mind about entrepreneurship.
Yep.
I think that's worth way more than just handing somebody $1 million and saying, okay. Because, they can snort that $1 million away pretty quick. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
So
the other thing we saw in our lifetime was that the real estate crash. 07, 08.
Oh yeah, the recession.
Hopefully, we're never gonna see that again in our life. We might see it later on, but for real estate to be that cheap and interest rates that cheap, if you had a bunch of money back then, you cleaned up. And I didn't back then.
Did you saw that movie with Ryan Gosling? It's called the Big
Short.
The Big Short.
Yeah. That was
a good
really
movie.
good. That was really, really good.
Yeah, I watched that. I think I watched that 3 or 4 times already.
Yeah. I watched that 3 times too.
So you said that you don't think that there might be a 2008. I'm kind of like, I believe. What do you go ahead?
Everything that I see says that it could happen again.
Okay.
I don't know if it's going to be as drastic as that, but
why do you feel like that?
What, like what?
That it might happen. The recession might happen again.
Because they say it could happen again.
Everything, I mean, from what I see, everything happens in cycles. And if you look at some of these graphs, they show how things, like everything's a cycle. Crypto's a cycle. The internet's a cycle. The type of, like, I'm in the healthcare field. Healthcare is a cycle. And so usually, from my knowledge, like I said, y'all are more into real estate than I am. So
that's him over there.
Yeah. I mean, y'all.
He's the guru.
Yeah, y'all are more into real estate than I am. But from my understanding, just from learning, there's usually 7 or 8 year cycles in real estate, and it's the same thing with the stock market.
True.
Stock market is on a 10-year cycle right now.
When do you think it's going to drop again?
Well, I mean, it should have already did because you're talking about 08 to all the way to 2018. I'm thinking it should have gone down 2 years ago. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like I said, a lot of people say that's why I'm not going to get into real estate. They make excuses, but man, when it's up, you can make money. When it's down, you can make money. So
talking about excuses, I'm gonna tell you a story. Well, I'm gonna tell you my general consensus when it comes to people making excuses. They're gonna make excuses for everything. Like I remember talking to a guy, we're having at somebody's house, and we were talking about real estate, and he gave me like real fast 3 excuses. He was like, "Man, I got to get my credit. I'm paying this guy to get my credit. 800. Blah 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 blah." And I said, "Well, you don't need credit, And I mean, not you have to have something,
depends,
but you don't have to have.
Yeah.
I mean, if you
What
have a
kind of deals you're
6
doing?
to 650, you could get a deal done.
Yeah.
And if you're 700s, you could get a deal done.
If the deal is solid enough,
They don't care what credit.
That-
If the deal,
exactly.
if the money's there,
Yes.
if you got $100,000 equity,
Yeah.
you could have a 320 credit score, and they're still gonna give you the money.
yeah, they are.
So-
Somebody is.
So he's like, I don't have. I got to get my credit right, and he gave me this whole spiel about credit, and then he's like, yeah, but see, the thing is, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna save this much money a month, and then I have, I could be able to go find something that's like 40, 50, 60 grand, and I was like, you don't even need that much. I said, all you really need is somewhere between 10 to 20, and you can get any deal done. And he was like, well, see, it's just just right now I got so much going on. So I was like, I'm a little bit of a butthole sometimes. I was like, so the real answer is you really don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Right. I said, so let's just talk about something else. Because to my mind, it's a waste of my mental energy.
Yeah.
Like, bro, let's talk. I'd rather talk about LeBron and the Rockets versus talk about you and your excuses.
What did he say after that? After you said that?
I think he got a little mad, but I was like, man,
sometimes that attitude can like scare him to make him like in a move. Somebody did that to me with like starting my business. He said a guy I was going to partner with. This guy had like $1 million staffing company, and he's like, "What's stopping you?" He's like, and I was telling him like you said excuses, and he said, "You know what? I know what's stopping you. You're scared."
Yeah.
Once he said that to me, I was like so defensive.
So what'd you do? What'd you do after that?
I started my own
Bam.
company.
That's what I'm saying. So there's
company.
doers, and then there's people that want to do.
Yeah.
They're infatuated with the idea of doing. So like the same thing happened to me. Somebody basically, again, my very first real estate deal that I did solo was somebody told me, hey, he told me the exact same thing, the words I used to other people. He said, let's stop talking about real estate because you're not going to do anything right now. And I said, oh, okay. I'm going to go find a deal, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. Yeah. And I did it. I found a flip in Humble, and I flipped it and made a bunch of money. And, to that point is now I guess it comes with that old saying, just keep living.
Yeah.
Because now somebody says something, I'm like, man, I'm just going to do it. Screw it, And the further along in life you get where you're able to take bigger risks, then, if it's something small, do it, man. If it makes money, do it.
Well, what about like the people that have kids or they're married or?
That's where you gotta,
manage your risk, right?
Yeah, you gotta leverage your risk.
Okay.
You gotta build something up on the side until, again, when you walk into your door,
storms, right?
when you walk into your door at work and you're losing money, walk away because whatever it is you're doing over here is making you more money. Go devote your time there.
Absolutely.
That's my advice.
That's a good strategy.
I don't want to keep talking about like
cool.
Mario, your first real estate deal, you had a job?
Nah,
right? No,
I didn't have a job.
I thought you were working for the pest control company.
No, I was working for a Walmart.
He's managing, right?
Yeah, I was managing.
Yeah,
and
don't.
then I took a leave of absence to graduate, and after I graduated, I was only at Walmart for like 10 months, and so they didn't keep my job. They didn't reserve my job for me. So when I came back, and like I basically looked at like every other job, like Target management. Mm-hmm. I did not want to go back to Walmart. I just hated working there. Mm-hmm. And then I was just at a point in my life where I just felt like this is what I needed to do because I really have a problem with authority and people telling me what to do.
I think probably all of us do because he doesn't like going to school.
Nope.
I was in the military. I got the hell out of there. That was not going to work for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're all like entrepreneur spirit. We can't be rolled over. They always say there's like what was that 80-20 rule? Like 20% do what 80% won't do. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I like that mindset. So you said something about having money to do real estate. There's ways to do what I'm finding just from my research to actually do these no money down deals. And I'm like really looking into owner finance. Have you ever did an owner finance deal? I know they're a little bit more complicated. They're called creative financing deals. Have you ever done any of those?
Me personally, no.
I think you've done one.
Yeah,
Mario's.
I did a subject to recently.
Yeah.
You could do. There's two variations. There's one where you could put your money down, or you could put your money down from the person that's selling it to you, or you could like, if somebody's losing their property, you could like just take over the payments, and then you could just give them money, and just give them like 5,000-10,000. I guess, you know, hey, look, here's your house, sign over the deeds, and then I'll just take over your payments, and your credit won't be affected. You can do it like that as well.
I think a lot of people like wonder like how you get your deals and why would anybody want to do that, sign over their house, and a lot of people don't understand that these are motivated sellers, right? And there's multiple ways to like do a deal. Like I think like I'm looking at these owner finance. A lot of people don't know about owner finance.
No.
And I'm saying that it's actually, you can actually do deals with, you're actually borrowing equity from the person that owns the property or has equity, and you're borrowing their equity. And I think it's so cool because you don't have to put any money into the deal.
Yep.
You know, and they're loaning, they're becoming the bank, and they're loaning you their equity, and then you're paying them cash depending on, a lot of people are like, why would they want to do that?
Yep.
And a lot of times it's because of the taxes. A lot of they've owned it for so long, they wanted income from the house and all this other stuff. But I mean, I think there's other ways if you don't want to do. There's so many ways to do real estate.
That's what makes it so interesting. To me, it's a game. It's like there's more than one. Y'all play ball. There's more than one way to skin a cat. There's more than one way to get a bucket. You know, when two people are holding you or something, it's like you've got to create a way to get that bucket, right? So in real estate, it's the same thing. There's a bunch of Mario has, you know, without like giving him too many props, because, you know,
better get to his head,
but can't get to his head.
He won't be able to get out of this building.
I call him the Ferragamo King.
Yeah.
But so like, there's a lot of stuff I look back and I say, Mario, and this is news to you because I've never verbalized it. And I'm like, man, I don't know how he's gonna get out of this situation. And then he'll come to me and get a couple ideas. I'm sure he talks to you, get some ideas. Yeah. And then something pops off, like where you just maneuver your way around it. Yeah. At the end of the day, you don't take a L. So like, I'll give you one example. Is the one you bought from the auction. Yeah. And it was like $7,000.
Yes.
And so I went to meet you there the day you bought it. Yeah. And in my mind, I was like, dude, this is you bought the lot. Yeah. Like you basically bought the lot because this house is a tear down. Yeah. The whole back of the house was like off,
falling down.
Yeah.
It was like they like added like basically like the back porch. It was just a slab, and they just added like I don't even know how they
tried to add on to the house, but what they did was they poured a separate slab. Yeah. And you can't do that. I mean, you can't have two slabs moving, you know, because they're connected by the house. So they just you know, rednecked it or whatever you want to call it. Yeah. So when I walked up to Mario, I was like, bro. And I'm actually glad he didn't do what I said to do. I was like, bro, put a for sale sign in the front and sell the lot. I was like, just, you paid $7, ask $14 for it. Double your money. And Mario was like, well, it's a good, you know, so he put a for sale sign like as in case, right? Because no matter what, when it comes to money, $7,000, you double it overnight, make 14, move on to something else, get your money back, you know, whatever. Anybody who's in the money knows that if you double your money in a month, I don't care if it's $2 or 200,000. You made money. So I was like, sell it. Just sell the lot. The lot's worth 15 or 22,000. Sell it. And I said, or owner finance it. Get some guys that come in there who want to build their house, like, you know, immigrants. Yeah. They can't go buy a house. I said, let them give you $10,000 down. I said, they got the cash. Let them just buy the house, the whole thing from you, and they'll do whatever they got to do with it. But his contractor gave him like $48,000 quote, and he's like, I can make this house. Right, for 50 G's. 50,000. And I was like, that's a no-brainer, bro. I was like, $57,000 you're all in. It's got to be worth 80 or 90.
Yeah, exactly.
Go roll with it. And I would have never even explored that route. Yeah. Like I just would have been like, bro, call a bulldozer.